ICT Spreadsheet Basics. One of the most used functions in Excel is the if function. We use the if function so Excel can decide which output to produce. Sometimes the if function is used in a very simple way. The if function has a condition and two alternatives. Like for example, I have here an if function. I have here an if function. Simply it says, if C3, this cell is called C3, if the value in C3 is greater than or equal 50, then it's a pass. I can assume that the pass grade is from 50. And in this cell, we have the mark of the student. So the if statement in its simplest form, it says if C3 is greater than or equal 50, then pass. If not greater than or equal 50, and this means smaller than 50. So the equal is with the pass. So the opposite of greater than or equal 50, the opposite is smaller than 50. So if it is not true that is greater than or equal 50, then it gets a fail. This is the simple one. This is the simple usage of if. Why? Because some other times I have several ranges. For example, from 100 to 80, that's an A. If not, from 79 to 60, that's a B. If not, from 59 to 40, that's a C. If not, well, that's a U. In this case, I cannot do with one if. I need to do several nested ifs. We call this nested ifs. Okay, we study a bit of a simple if, and then we study nested ifs. Also, what do I have here? Here I have an if with two conditions. Like for example, in order to get a pass, then the student needs to be greater than or equal 50 in this subject and greater than or equal 50 in that other subject. Okay, let us have a look at those three examples, and this will be our task for the moment. Okay, let us highlight all these workings. Highlight these, and on the keyboard, click on the button delete. And also highlight these and click on the button delete. So now I have a sheet with some data in it, and let us do the simple if, the nested if, and the if with two conditions. Let us start with this very simple one. If you'd like to use an if, you click on this button. This button is called fx, or is called insert a function. We click on it, and for the first time we delete the text and type if and search and click on go. So we type search for a function, I type if and click on go. Okay, Excel is searching for me, and this is the if function. I click OK. Let us look at this window and read whatever is in it. The function if has three arguments. Function if arguments, there are three arguments. The logical test, that is the condition. Value if true, this is what happened, what will happen if this condition is true. Value if false, this is the other alternative that should be taken if the condition is false. Let us do this, and this is a very easy example. The logical test, if C3 greater than or equal 50. This is my rule. Greater than or equal 50. This is my pass rule. Okay, value if true, I put here pass. And see, when you click outside, pass will get a double quote. Thank you, Excel is helping me. Value if false, I will type here fail. And when you click outside, again, Excel is helping and putting the double quote. Text needs to be within speech marks. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I click OK. And then I replicate. I go to that lower right icon, click on it and drag. And see, let us go into every cell and double click. We double click on this, it's taking this cell. If C3 is greater than or equal 50, then it's pass. If not, it is fail. Let us double click on the one underneath. It is taking the cell below. We call this relative function. We call this relative reference. Cells are moving with me. Okay. Okay. I think I am done with that simple exercise. Let us do a more complex one. With that more complex one, I have ranges. Excel, if the if function is well suited for two alternatives, the pass and fail. If you have more than two alternatives, the if function on its own cannot handle it. There is a way around this. We put if inside an if inside an if. We call this nested ifs. We can put as many ifs inside each other as long as I am not confused. Okay, let us go into here and do that nested if. As I said, from 100 to 80, that will be an A grade. If not, 79 to 60, that's going to be a B grade. If not, 59 to 40, C grade, 39 to 0, U grade. Okay, let us go into this cell and click on that button FX to insert a function. You don't have to search for the if again because it is already in the most recently used. Okay, let us click on the if function here and click OK. What do we have to do? First, we deal with the highest range. That is the A range. Okay, I will click on this C3. So now I am if C3 greater than or equal 80. Now I'm thinking of the highest rank. C3 greater than or equal 80. Value if true. If this happens, then clearly it's an A. I type here A. The point now, what if not? What shall I do if it is not an A? Click here on value if false. With that value if false, it means it's not an A. It is not greater than or equal 80. It is something lower. But what shall I put here? Shall I put a B? Shall I put a C? Okay, actually, I will put another if. In the value if false, where C3 is not greater than or equal 80, and it is not an A, I go to value if false, and I put another if. I put another if. How can I put an if inside an if? That button will not help me. That button FX will not help me simply because it is engaged with that function. See, this is called the formula bar. This part is called the formula bar. The button FX is busy with that function. Okay, if you like to put an if inside an if, or any function inside any other function, you have to use this button. Go to the far left. Here, if I click now, it will be another if inside the if, and it will go into here. Also, if you'd like to put any function inside any function, you can use this. You can even click here, more functions, and here all the other functions you can search. Okay, again, I will search for if. It wasn't necessary, but to show you that I can put any function inside any function. Okay, so I click here on OK. Please look here, because the code will make it easier for me to follow. And this is OK. This is another window for another if. Where is the old if? The code is being written now. The code is in here. This if is inside that if. Okay, let me not confuse you. The next step will be if C3 greater than or equal 60. Because now I'm searching for the B. Value if true. If this is the case, I put here B. Value if false. If the student did not even achieve the B. Okay, I put in here value if false, and then I click here another time. So this is a third F, a third if. Okay, a third if. Now I'm looking for the C, the logical test. If C3 is greater than or equal 40. Okay, value if true, then it is a C. Okay, value if false. Actually, there isn't much alternatives yet left. There isn't much alternatives left. I will put here a U without even putting another if. Because if he didn't get the C, then we go directly to the U, and that's it. So put here, you don't have to put another if, otherwise it's getting longer than necessary. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I click OK. See, this one is getting U because 34 is in this range. Okay, let us replicate. Double click and it goes down. It goes down. And let us have a look at the code. Because sometimes you need to deal directly with the code. So if C3 is greater than or equal to 80, then it's A. If not, I put another if. If C3 is greater than or equal 60, then it is B. If not, I put another if. If C3 is greater than or equal 40, then it is C. If not, then it is U, and done. Okay. So now we have seen two examples of if, the very simple one and the more complex one. Let us have a look at that final example, and we are done with the if function. What is it that I have here? I have two subjects. And in order to have a pass, let us assume that the student needs to pass those two subjects. So G1, G3 must be greater than or equal 50, and at the same time H3 must be greater than or equal 50. How can we do this with an if function? The problem is the if function has only one logical test. We will try to extend that one logical test into two logical tests, and we will be done. Okay, let us put in here an fx, and this is if. Now I have that problem. I have a problem because I need two logical tests. I only have one logical test. Shall I use it with subject 1 or subject 2? Very soon we will solve this. But before it gets complicated, let us put here pause. like we did before, and let us put here fail like we did before. Now everything is ready except that logical test. I would like that logical test to become 2 with an and in between. You know the and or? The and is like the intersection and or is like the union. Here I need the and because I would like to pass exam 1 and exam 2. Okay, there is a function in Excel called and. Let us have a look at it. There is a function in Excel called and. How can I put here an and function? I cannot use this. I have to use that arrow. Where is and? We go to more functions and type here and search for it. Okay, this is the and function. Let's open it. Actually, and function is providing me now with 2 logical tests. It will even supply me with more logical tests, but now I am only in need of 2. The first logical test is this one, G3 greater than or equal 50. The second logical test, here you have logical 3, but I will not use it. The second logical test is H3 greater than or equal 50. Okay, I'm done. If I click OK, then I'm done. But let us navigate. Let us navigate. So see this code? If, and I have this if, inside of it there is the and. Now I am inside the and. If you'd like to navigate to the if, click here. Click here within the if. Okay, so click here within the if. See the code for the and? G3 greater than or equal 50, comma, H3 greater than or equal 0, equal 50. I'm sorry, it should be here 50. Okay. If this is, the whole of this is true, he gets a pass. If the whole of this is not true, he gets a fail. Let us click OK. See pass because he passed the both. This one is fail because he failed this. This one is pass because he passed both. This one is fail because he failed this. Okay, that was an introduction to the if function with 3 different examples. I hope this is clear.